Hi. Okay, I really don't know much about what you do. This is the first time I've had an experience of what you guys do, and I'm, very impressed. My question to both of you, Esther and Abraham, is how or what steps would I go through to put myself into a position where I tap into my spiritual, I suppose you could say, partners, or my spiritual source. What steps? Because I see you go on the sculpture, whatever you want to call it, and you tap in. So how do I do that?
Well, you've done most of it by asking, because when you ask, it is given every single time. So, and you didn't just develop that desire here in witnessing this, although it might have enhanced your desire a bit, but you have long known that there were resources that you could tap into, and you see evidence of it all around in those who are excelling in different ways.
Sure.
And you remember the alignment that you felt so dramatically in your younger time, and you've longed for a returning to this, and so you've been contributing this desire, this asking, to your vibrational escrow for a very long time. So now what happened with Esther had never heard about this process specifically until Jerry began reading the Seth material. And Seth material was something very much like this. A woman named Jane Roberts was doing something similar to what Esther is doing, and wrote some books. And as Jerry read them, Esther wanted nothing to do with them because they were a bit spooky to her. But as Jerry found things in them that interested him, he began speaking them to Esther at appropriate times, not pushing them at her, until Esther began saying, "I like that. That makes sense to me." And then one thing led to another, as it always does, until Esther sat in a time of meditation. Now, what meditation did for Esther, and it would do it for you as well, is when you have to remember that the only thing that ever keeps you from fully flowing, and by the way, we want to say you fully flow that way often, you just don't know you're doing it.
Right.
The only thing that keeps you from fully flowing that way is a thought that doesn't match. In other words, resistance is the only thing that keeps you from that alignment. People want to call it channeling as if it is something odd. We want you to know that it is the most normal thing in the world. Your intuition, your timing, your knowing, your gut instinct, it is all about that alignment, you see. And you are much more attuned to it, all of you, than you give yourself credit.
So Esther's nothing special then?
She is not.
All right, so
she is not. She is not, because everyone has source. Everyone is an extension of that source. Esther is someone who managed to bring herself into vibrational alignment with that which is Abraham. And once you can, now we have to say to you what Abraham is. Abraham is the creation of Esther's vibrational escrow. In other words, Abraham is the source of that which is Esther before she got here, and that which has become through the process of what she has lived. In other words, you get a sense of that, and all of you have that to tap into.
So through practice, we all too could have that same connection that you do, where
yes,
the source is literally flowing
yes,
through us.
Real time.
So in terms of how would I practice that? Would I meditate every day, or is there an instruction manual to? Because that's impressive.
It's much more simple than you know. It requires wanting it and allowing it, and the wanting is already in place, and so the allowing is. The reason that meditation is a good process is because when you meditate, you quiet your mind, and when you quiet your mind, you stop all thought, which means you've stopped resistant thought too. And when you stop resistance, your cork naturally floats to the surface, or your vibration raises, and in time you acclimate to the vibration of that which is your source. And when you do that, what your source thinks is your knowing too. Now, here's the only clarifying point that we think is of value for all of you relative to this. Step 1 and step 3 are 2 different steps. We had a little bit of discussion about that earlier today. In other words, you can't ask a question and receive the answer to the question at the same time. You can't be in the vibration of needing to know something and be in the vibration of allowing the answer at the same time. That's what makes it a little tricky for so many, especially in the beginning. In other words, Esther had the benefit of Jerry, who was doing the asking. So all Esther had to do was bliss out or meditate out. She just had to bring herself into vibrational alignment. Even here, you all are doing all of the asking. And we are doing the answering, and Esther is in the receiving mode. In other words, her dominant intent, when she stands here every time, she says, I want to speak clearly your words, which means I want to get my preferences, I want to get my prejudices, I want to get my vibration out of this. I want to be a blank slate so that that which is being asked can flow through me.
So we all can connect, essentially.
Yes.
And we've all got our different...
No exceptions.
This is called Abraham. Mine could be called Billy. But
the name that will be given to you will be unique. In other words, Esther was tuned in to the vibration of Seth. But when the energy began moving through her, a different name was given to describe and to honor the unique interpretation of this. In other words, there are many who are saying, oh, I am now receiving Abraham, and they are wanting validation from Esther, from us, that they are. And we say, there is not another that is receiving uniquely this. Everyone will receive their own, and their words will be different too. Many have been listening to the tapes, and so they're beginning to parrot the same, but it is not the same. Each of you, and it does not need to be the same, and it is good that it is not the same. You're all uniquely translating. You came forth to create your reality, you see, not to regurgitate someone else's.
Okay, so you're just essentially connected to the source, and it's just flowing through you, and you're just giving it to the universe.
Precisely. And what we would recommend, especially in the beginning, is sit for a while, maybe for a few days, as you identify what it is you want to talk about. If you had known us better, interesting that here you are. But we would say to anyone who's coming to a gathering like this, and many of them did that, that's why we've had such an incredible day together, as you think about the things that you would like to know through over a period of a few days, you are really queuing up your asking, and you are causing your asking to be parlayed or put into this vibrational escrow where source has been working on it for a while, you see. And so the asking, the step 1, is something that you're doing deliberately. I wonder about this. I'd like to know about this. Wouldn't it be nice if I knew this? I wonder how this fits together. I wonder how this fits together. And then sit with an intention of quieting your mind and just let yourself receive. Don't try to speak it. Don't try to write it down. Don't try to record it. And don't try to make it something that it isn't. Just sit in this absence of thought, in this quieted mind, and receive this knowing. And what happens? You see, we're not whispering words into Esther's ears that she is repeating to you. We are offering blocks of thought, like radio signals that are being downloaded. Esther can receive an entire book in seconds as she sits to receive, and there it is. And then it takes her days to receive it and translate it onto the page, but the download happens. And so when you realize that your work is the translator of this, the only thing that you have to do is get yourself up to speed with the energy, which means be as happy as you can be. Get into a place of appreciation. We teach meditation because, frankly, it's easier to teach you to have no thought than to have pure positive thought. It's easier to tune your vibration upward by clearing your mind than to take some issue that you're bothered about and clean it up. So meditation is a very powerful tool. But we would rather see you in a state of appreciation than in a state of meditation. Because when you are in appreciation, there is no resistance either, you see. So you love yourself into alignment. You bring yourself into alignment by loving others. You appreciate yourself into alignment. You appreciate others and bring yourself into alignment. You meditate yourself into alignment. In other words, it's just tending to your vibrational scale. It's tending to this gap. It's wanting to feel good. It's looking for reasons to feel good. It's wanting to find the positive aspects in things. It's waking up determined that you're going to look for things that feel good. It's moving away from things that don't feel good. You find yourself not wanting to have those long conversations with friends who have been complaining about this and that. You find yourself choosing different things to watch on television, and you make CNN something that you never watch again. In other words, you bring yourself to a place where you're looking for the positive aspects of your world and of your life and of your body and of your friends and of the things that you think about. And little by little, you tune yourself to the vibration of source. And again, you don't have to be there always. Esther doesn't only have pure positive thoughts. Esther has things that she pushes against, but Esther can't push against and do this at the same time, you see. And so when she gets ready for you, you're very good for her, because she feels responsible to you in the sense that she wants to be this open vortex. She wants to be this clear channel where you can receive the perfect answers to your questions. And so she prepares herself as best she can. And over time, she's come to the place where she knows that no matter what conversation just happened, no matter what happens in her life, no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what happened, even maybe while she's walking from backstage out onto the stage, no matter what happens, when she gets to that platform, she knows that she can clear her mind of all resistance and receive. And we know that of you as well.